am. Can everybody hear me and see me?
Yes, ma'am. Let's go.
Okay, perfect. Happy Saturday to everybody. Guys, we do this every Saturday. Our training call to help leaders like yourself to be efficient in the field, to understand the updates on what's going on day to day, especially on our team and our group and in the company. So, guys, get your notepads, get your pens ready. You're going to get a ton of information today. So again, we do this every Saturday. It's only once a week for an hour at 11 a.m. to give you all the information you need to be successful here at FFL. So, but you have to apply it. It's not just enough to get the knowledge, but the applied knowledge is what really counts. All right, because that's how when we get these people to talk today or recognize these people are actually working and putting up numbers. So, guys, as you know, we already started the call off with people who were going to recognize that either got their first hire, their first sale, or passed their exams. Now, we have way too many people to recognize today. So, guys, you will not get a chance to speak this morning. However, we are just going to recognize you. Okay. So, moving right along, guys. Let's go ahead and shout out the people who got their first hire, one or more. Guys, the first person I want to recognize, congratulations, Sandra R. She's been in the office every time I'm there. She's on live dials. She's nervous, but she gets it done, and you're continuing to just surprise us and kill it. So, Sandra, great job. Congratulations. Denise Williams, congratulations on your first hire as well. Super excited. You're on your way to building a huge team. The next section I want to go into is the first sale. So, these people actually either completed their first sale or more. So Latasha J, we're super excited about her. I know she's called Kali and I in the field when she's at the appointment. And because of that, she closed her first sale. So congratulations, Latasha. Ashley Skinner, congratulations on your first sale. Tanae C, congratulations on your first sale. Daryl Montgomery, we're super excited for you. Congratulations on your first sale. And Shirley B, congratulations. I know this is not going to be the first time we're going to be highlighting you, but this is exciting, guys. That means we have a ton of new people. We're doing something right. And everybody that's on this call is on their way to pretty much building a huge business because we're all looking to get that integrity deal, right? So moving right along, we got a ton of information to give to you today. But the first thing that I want to do is highlight two people who hit a milestone and actually got a promotion. So the first person I would like to talk for at least 3 minutes. My good friend, business partner, I'm super excited for this guy. He's on FFL Team Unity, Will Crandell. He actually hit his sales manager promotion. Him and his team, super excited for you guys, did over 51,000 in production a week before month end. So what does that mean? To be a sales manager, you and your team have to do 50,000 in production 2 months in a row. They exceeded that and did it a week before month end. So Will Crandell, I'm so excited for you. I'm so happy for you. You're growing. Your team is growing. I'm excited for your team. Take 3 minutes and actually talk about why you're excited, where you came from, and how you hit that between you and your team that 51,000. Great job.
Grant, can you hear me okay?
Well, I sure can. Hey, Will.
How you doing? I honestly do not know how to come behind all the energy that you bring on these calls. So I'm just going to wing it, and hopefully it halfway matches what you bring. So, yeah, guys, I'm definitely humbled and excited to be in the position that I'm in and for my team and everything. Definitely couldn't do it without the guidance and the help of Corinne, Kali, Rich, Mike. If I could bring any one piece of advice to new people on this call is if you are not reaching up, if you are not reaching out, if you're not calling from the home, if you're not on the Zoom dials every Monday and Thursday or Monday and Wednesday, depending on your run schedule, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. If you don't reach out, you're not going to grow. That's just how it is. I call Rich on a consistent basis. I call Mike, reach out to Frank, ask questions. If you want to hit a specific milestone, you're going to have to do things that are uncomfortable in the beginning. So just get used to being uncomfortable. That's probably my biggest piece of advice. Get used to being uncomfortable because you will grow from it.
Randall, what you said was so powerful because, you know, a lot of people have questions about what they need to do in business when all they need to do is just plug in and the business will happen for you when you work the system. So, you know, you stay consistent, you stay the course because sometimes things don't always happen when we want to, right? But it happens when it needs to. And you're just, you know, you're one of the many examples on FFL that shows and proves that if you do the right things long enough and you work hard and keep your head down, you will hit your goals. We promise you. It's just, I think that people have an expectation on their own selves. And when they don't meet that, it kicks them out the business or kicks them out of working. So thank you for being an example. And I'm super proud of you and your team.
Thank you.
Okay. And that's great stuff. And how long have you been here, Will?
Let's see. I've been here about a year and a little over a year full time. A little over a year full time.
A little over a year. So guys, if you hear this, he's only been here about a year. That means it doesn't take this long to get this done. It doesn't take long. All it takes is a decision, and you got to really find out why you're here and what you came here to do. If you don't have a why, because I know, Crandell, you have a family, you have a young child, right? You have a wife. You know, imagine coming home and you're just not working, not making any money. How would your family be happy or sad?
Oh, they definitely be sad. Look, diapers ain't cheap. Come on.
Exactly. So again, it doesn't take that long, guys. The moment you make a decision, you can too be a Will Crandell and everybody else that's getting highlighted on this call. So great job, Will. We're super proud of you.
Yes, ma'am.
The next person I have the pleasure of highlighting, guys, this woman works like beyond her measures on which she's an immaculate leader. She's there for everyone. She disperses not only her energy, but her money to grow the business. She is a team player. She's always plugged in. She leads from the front. I have the pleasure of, this is why I stick around her, because she really is the example of what leadership is. And she deserves every bit of what she's getting right now and what is yet to come. I have the honor, all right, of having Kali Somerville come on. She actually hit senior vice president, which is huge, guys. Huge, all right? And if you knew where she came from, you will understand why she is the way that she is. And her team, okay, did over 320,000 in production this month before month end. So a week before the numbers, the week before the end of the numbers, guys. Her and her team did over 320,000. So what does that say? This is somebody you need to listen to. Will is somebody you need to listen to. You need to ask them questions. You need to figure out what they're doing so that you can have success too. Kali, I'm super excited for you. I'm so glad to be a part of your team. Please take 3 minutes and talk about where you came from, why you're excited, and how you hit your promotion between you and your team.
All right. Thank you, Corinne. Congratulations to everybody who got first sale, first hire, passed their exam this week, because that's really where it starts, guys. You got to do it. It has to be a first, right? And then congratulations to you, Will, for your sales manager position. So I know that's exciting. I know Will is really starting to build now. So his story is, and Will didn't do insurance before he got here. So, and I know he makes a whole lot of money. But congratulations, everybody. But super excited about this promotion. Is not, number one, it's God. Let's start there. Because what I prayed for, guys, is that I prayed that when I came here, that God would make it so that this thing would be so big that it would be no way for me to explain it but Him. That's literally been my prayer. And that's the only way I can explain it is God, right? And this is just the beginning. Like, we are really just getting started. Back in 2019, end of 2019, beginning of 2020, it was just me and Andre. Like, really two guys running the show. Like, Mike Fowle posted April 2020's numbers for the whole team. His team did, well, we all did 183,000 in production. It was 19 agents. That was Mike Fowle's entire squad, 19 people. This month, Mike Fowle is going to close the month with probably about 850,000 in production. And a year ago, he was at 183 as a team, right? And so it's just an example of how quickly this thing can grow. And it's obvious it's not me, because there's no way to get these kind of numbers alone. I have some amazing leaders on the team. Andre, Corinne, Steve. I have some emerging leaders. I have Sandra Jr. Like, we got a bunch of people playing and want to get to the next level. So really the key is, guys, not, my promotion is great, Will's promotion is great, but let's get other people promoted, because the more promotions we have, the more we can grow. And really the bottom line is getting to integrity. And like I said, for the people who did their first sale and their first hire, like this, what we're talking about right now might seem so far away, but again, you have to start somewhere, and it's with your first, right? And so just make sure that you continue to do those actions over and over again consistently, and eventually you will see results, and stick around. The bottom line, the advice that I would give somebody who's brand new or anybody on the phone is don't quit. Like that's the only way that you can fail here, is if you quit. That is absolutely the bottom line. If you stop working, you will not be successful. But I promise you, if you continue to work, if you continue to move forward, you will have success here. And the other thing that I also offer as far as advice is run your own race. Like, it's a lot of people in the company that are doing a lot of big things. We got Kristen Slice in our office. She's not in this team, but she's under Frank. Kristen is the number 3 personal producer in the company, right? She is putting up numbers left and right, and I mean, she's putting up big numbers. The month of April, she had 98,000 in production for annuity, which means she's written almost $1 million in annuity volume personally in the month of April, right? But you come here and you can't compare yourself to her, because you're not on her level. I'm not on her level, right? It's a lot of people that you got to get to her level. So run your race, be consistent on your level. If that means that you write $2,500 a week until you get comfortable with that, and then increase it to 5,000 a week, and then increase it to 10,000 a week, right? But start somewhere, and you got, and maybe that you have to start small, but run your race, and don't compare yourself to other people, and you will get what you want if you're just consistent, guys. I promise you. But again, congratulations to all the first timers. That's exciting. Congratulations, Will, on your promotion, and let's just run it up. And next stop is executive vice president, 500,000 for Fury. So take it away, Corinne. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. Great job. Thank you. So guys, please have your notebooks and pens out. I can't express it enough. Just, some company housekeeping rules. These leaders on the call here are extremely busy. So this is why we do this, so we can answer most of your questions. No question is a dumb question, but understand something, that it is a dumb question if you keep asking the same question over and over again, especially when you have the opportunity to ask it, and you ask it while we're in the field. Our job is to help you. It's not that we don't want to answer your questions, but if it's been answered and we're doing things like this to take our time out to make sure you're successful, please make sure you're plugged in. Please make sure you're looking at the videos. Please make sure if you miss these training calls, to go back and actually review it and look at it, and stay abreast on GroupMe and Facebook, because that is where we post a lot of our updates. So please, 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 we will bring you the other 50% if you bring your first 50%, so that we can make this 100% and be successful and move forward. All right, next, we're going to jump right into our speakers. We do have 2 speakers today. And then I have the pleasure of giving you guys the first speaker. He is a sharp gentleman in business. I've learned so much from this guy. He's a team player. All of you know him. I know we got some new people on the call that you're going to get to know this guy. But he's just putting up some huge numbers. He runs FFL Protect and Serve. I know you've seen him on GroupMe killing it. Thaddeus Scruggs. We are super excited for you and your business and the direction that you're growing in. Your team is growing. Please take at least 10 minutes and talk about writing business and order of carriers, guys, because this is so important when you're in the field, and why it's important to write in the order of carriers. And then another thing that I want to mention about that too, that I do want you to talk about this, because today's topics between you and the other speaker is going to be, definitely about mindset. One thing I noticed is that, last month and the month before last, that he was not at zero at all. However, he did have a couple character months in his business. And the one thing about him and that I respect him is that no one ever knew that he was going through a slow moment in his business. He kept pressing, he kept going. He knew that it was a mindset issue. And because he fixed it, he literally has been writing over 10 grand every time he's been in the field. And he had to make some decisions, guys. If the leads weren't in his area, he drove to different states, Delaware, Pennsylvania. He drove to different states to make it happen because he has a family to feed and he has a goal to go after, which is integrity. He's waking up earlier. He's staying late. He's making the sacrifices he needs, not that he wants to, but because he has to, so that instead of playing now, right, and then paying for it later, he's paying now the price so he can pay later to never have to look at the price. So Thad, we're super excited for you. If you could talk about what I just went over, take it away. Guys, take your notebooks out. Let's get it done.
Awesome. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Corinne, that intro, fire. I mean, wow. So, well, first and foremost, Kali and Will, I mean, I gotta give it to you all. That you all, I mean, inspire me every day. Will, I mean, bro, you've been grinding. I mean, and I love it. Kali, I see you all the time, and you know how much I respect you as a woman, as a strong woman in this leadership role you're in. So topic today is order carriers, why it's so important. The key with carriers, first and foremost, is providing the best coverage for the client while also controlling the cash flow that streams through your business, right? So what that pretty much means is, number one, your first goal at the end of the day when you're going into these appointments is making sure that you're providing the best coverage. Not the coverage that's going to pay you the most, but the best coverage for the client at the end of the day. Now, first and foremost, America. No questions asked. Like, when you're going into, when you start off with America, you're going to get a couple different things. Well, first, let me back up. You have the core four carriers, which are America, Aetna, Mutual of Omaha, Prosperity. And then you have what I always call the distant duo, which is AIG and John Hancock. So you got the core four, which are the carriers that they're non-negotiable. Those are the carriers that you should be riding with day in and day out. Me personally, I stick with just those four. I don't venture out to any other carrier because the more and more you spread out the different companies you write with, more chargebacks you're going to get. Then you got one chargeback here with maybe like CFG or something, but you don't really write a lot of CFG. So you're paying out of pocket and you're not really, cash flowing with that carrier. So you have more chances of actually having chargebacks in, maybe like myself, I have RNA taken away from me because I don't write RNA that much. So that's something that always, think of in the back of your mind. Keep the carriers that you write to a minimum. Do not spread it out. Oh, sorry, my phone's ringing. All right, perfect. So Americo, so you got 8% bonus with Americo off the break. Also, when you're starting out and you get chargebacks, you can put your chargebacks in a side account if need be. Americo also is very lenient when it comes to the client and making sure that if they do miss their payment, their policy doesn't automatically cancel. They give them multiple opportunities. It's almost 3 weeks that they have after, 3 to 4 weeks after they've missed that payment to actually make it before that policy goes into lapse. So it's really good not only for you, they pay you in 2 days, but it's really good for the client as well. Customer service is exceptional. The next one that I actually go to after I look at Americo would be Mutual of Omaha. Now I haven't really been writing too much Mutual of Omaha right now because they're kind of backed up. But I'm sorry, Aetna. Aetna is the next one. Now Aetna, the great thing about Aetna, from ages 40 to 49, right? You have 50 to 59. Yep, 50 to 59. You get 100% compensation. With America, you don't. So any person that's after, I believe it's 59. And if I'm wrong, Kylie or Corinne, just correct me. I think it's age 50 to 59.
Are you talking about with Aetna?
Yeah, with Aetna.
It's 40.
40 to 49. Okay, there you go. Age 40 to 49. Edna starts at age 40. So that's also a great carrier. That's something that you're not going to get with a lot of carriers.
40 to 89.
No. I'm talking about, well, yes, it's
40
got
you. Yes.
Got you. You can't write Mutual of Omaha, America. Well, you can write Mutual of Omaha, but I don't really write them too much. You can't write America until age of 50. So that's going to be the next carrier that I rock with. After America, then obviously it's going to be Prosperity. The great thing about Prosperity is, number one, you can do level coverage, you can do graded and modified, and they all pay you out full compensation. That's something you're not going to find anywhere else. I actually go to them before I even lean towards AIG, because AIG may be a little bit cheaper than Prosperity's modified program. However, it's a better product, and it goes up to 35,000 when AIG only goes up to 25,000. Now, so those are, like I said, those are the core four. Now, the distant duo would be AIG, John Hancock. I just spoke to you about AIG. That's also our guarantee issue product. John Hancock, I write them when I'm looking for a client, when a client's asking for about 500,000, anything between 250 and 500. It's just a simple term policy. I go with John Hancock. Oh my goodness, this phone is going crazy. All right. So those are the four. Those are the core four. The distant duo. Now, Corinne, you said you want me to talk about mindset, correct?
Yeah, like personally, because where your mindset was a month or two ago to where it is now, you kind of like, I've noticed watching you kind of forced. Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, you forced you forced the activities you needed to do to correct your mindset, which is, I know, which is most of the reason why, on top of your work ethic, is the reason why you're having the success you're having now. Which, congratulations, I'm super excited for you. So just kind of talk about that transition, because I know it's a lot of people on here, especially new agents, that are really just having a hard time in this business. And if they can just fix that minor thing, which is their mindset and the words that's coming out their mouth that they're speaking into the universe, then they will also too have success upon going to work. So if you could talk about that just for a little bit.
So you brought up a good point, speaking things into existence. That's number one. Number one, you got to love yourself at the end of the day. You have to believe in yourself. That's where it all starts at. If you don't believe in yourself, then it's going to be reciprocated over the phone. It's going to be reciprocated in the in-home. The biggest thing that I changed in my business was being intentional about my activity. I didn't care about anything else. Like when I go out in the field right now, I don't care if I have 10 appointments and I sit with 2 people. My whole goal at the end of the day is to get in front of and connect with 10 people, period. So I completely just took the, number one, the emotion out of the situation, as well as out of the getting paid, the money. Because here's the goal. The goal is to help protect and serve as many people as possible at the end of the day, right? So if that's the whole goal, then the more activity you're going to have, the more money you're going to make. The more money you're going to make. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. So really, you get in front of more people. That's the thing to focus on. Focus on everyone else. If you want to succeed, there's one thing that Grant Cardone said. I can't remember what video it was, but he said, when I'm in a slump, when I'm down, when I have no money, I find someone to go help. I just found someone to go help. I ask around. I want to help more people, because the more people you help, the more money you're going to make. And when you think about that, it's very simple. This business is very simple, and we're all human. So mindset it's all about perspective. When you're sitting with these clients, or when you're dialing these phone numbers, you're dialing human beings. They go through ups and downs just like you do on a day-to-day basis. So if they're going through stuff that day and they hang up on you, that doesn't mean they're not telling you no. They're not mad at you. They're mad at whatever situation they're already going through. So take it with a grain of salt, put it to the side, door knock it, or call them back later. I mean, and what you'll start to realize is you can call someone at 9 o'clock in the morning, they can cuss you out. You can call them back at 4 o'clock in the afternoon after they got off work a little more relaxed. And guess what? They don't even remember you called them. And I have gotten that so many times. And so it's really just taking the emotion out of it and being intentional. You know, I wake up early in the morning and I post every morning, and that's not for me. I do that for everyone else. I do that because I get a lot of feedback about how inspiring that is to other people. But it's just drawing more success to me because I'm literally not thinking about myself. I'm waking up early just so I can hurry up and post to go work out. But I'm intentionally doing that for other people. You know, I'm intentionally putting everything out there because I want people to win just like I'm winning. You know, I want people to be able to get up early. I want people to understand that, hey, you can do this too. You know, the grind is real. Yes, it's business. It's simple, but you got to work. And once you understand that, and once you put your mind to something, and you actually move forward with it, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit. I don't want to go over my time. I think that's all I got for you, though, Corinne.
No, you're great. So Dad, let me ask you a question. Waking up 4:30 every morning, are you tired?
Yeah.
Does your body hurt when you work out early? Getting up early, getting to the office early like that?
Yeah, it's not easy.
Do you like being in the field all day?
I don't.
Okay, but you love helping people, right?
I love it.
So what I'm hearing is that you love the outcome more than you love the process, because the process has to happen no matter what. And we talk about this all the time, guys. I mean, in order to make olive oil, you have to press the olive in order to work and plant the seed. So, I mean, the list can go on. You have to crush grapes to make wine, and it goes through a fermenting process. So anything that you want to do to be great, to get what you need, it's the process, and your process is your process. Like the leader said today, I know Kali said it, compete, don't compare, because your race is your race. Dad has his own race. He recognizes that. He's doing the things that he does not want to do so that he can have the things that he does want to have. I'm sure, I mean, your son is young. How old is your son?
He'll be 2 next month.
Okay, so number one, he's not going to remember. Number two, Thad is making a sacrifice to not spend as much time as he knows he can with his son so that he can spend every day with his son. Every day can be a birthday. Every day can be a holiday. Every day can be a vacation. But you got to put the work in first. We're talking about crunching 40 or more years that the average person spends on the job until they retire, if they make it that far, into 1 to 2 years. And now that you know you have the opportunity to do that, why play with this thing? And I'm not just talking to you guys, I'm talking to myself too. We all have things that we can work on to do, to get better, to work harder, to grow. If we do that as a unit, guys, we can, I mean, literally be the fastest growing teams to integrity in the entire company. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Kali, do you have any questions for that?
My bad, I'm trying to take my phone off mute. No, well, Thad, okay. Thank you so much for all of those rules. I did have a question. Shoot, I forgot it because Corinne asked so many good questions. I know, so this, can you talk real quick, because I think this is important. Can you talk really quickly about, it was like, I don't know, how many months did you have, like, you were having a hard time in the field? And then what was considered a hard time to you? Because to a lot of people, you might think they wouldn't notice you're having a hard time because your numbers were kind of just average, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but they weren't terrible, and you didn't stop, did you?
Nope.
You kept pushing. But what were your like? I know, what was it? Wednesday or Thursday? I think you wrote 13,000 personal.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And I called you and I was like, "What's different?" Remember? And what do you remember what you told me?
Shoot, I don't know.
And I want you to elaborate on it. But you said, I'm not focused on the outcome.
Yeah. Right? It's true.
It's like you're like I guess you can speak a little bit more about that. Like when you're in the house, you're not focused on the sale, which I think a lot of people are, especially if they're having some kind of financial issue. That's what they want to focus on, getting the sale. You're not focused on that. You're focused on helping the person, and if they want it or they don't want it, you need an answer so you can go help the next person. Is that right?
That's
right.
Can
you just take about a minute or so and just talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I got you. So I went 4 months. And I think I would run about between 30 to 35 appointments, and I would literally sit with, I would sell like 2 policies a week. Like I did that for 4 months. 4 months. So what Corinne is at, oh, excuse me, Kali. What Kali is actually talking about is, so I have this thing where everything is 10 for me. I book 10 appointments. I need to have 10 connections a day. That's either sitting with the client, sitting in the actual home. It does a porch or no show does not count. I have to book an appointment from a door knock, or I have to sit with a client from a door knock. Those are the 3 ways that I connect with a person, or I hire somebody. But that's on dial days. So when I get inside the home, it's a 10-minute process. I spend 5 minutes trying to convince them why they should do business with me. Then I spend 5 minutes allowing them to convince me why I should stay there for another 10, 20 minutes writing that application. And then in that first 10 minutes, if I'm not getting what I want, I walk out. Like I literally just walk out. Because what I started to realize is the more and more time I prolong trying to talk them into a sale, I was just wasting time, and I could have been door knocking another home, getting into another house to a person who actually wants the coverage. It's not going to waste my time. See, when the thing about it is, like I always say, it's perspective. They filled out the form, they allowed you to come over. You're sitting or standing inside their home. They know it's about business. So don't make no mistake about it. Like you know why I'm here right now. So we're not talking about health insurance. We're not talking about you filled out a form because you wanted to win a Walmart gift card. No, we're talking about life insurance. You need life insurance. I'm here to help you. So you got 5 minutes to convince me that this is what you need. If not, I'm out. And what I started to realize is I started to weed out all the who said this one day? Who said it? It was DeAnthony. DeAnthony always says, I like to wean out the you're either a buyer or a liar. So I like to wean out the liars really quick, 10 minutes and I'm out, so I can get to a door knock on my next appointment. And that's how I do it. And it's really like taking over my business because I'm not wasting my time and I'm not wasting my day, and I'm constantly being productive all day long. So by the end of the day, I'm mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted because I've left everything out with these clients at the end of the day. So that's really my mindset when I go into these houses. Like I'm actually looking to leave. I'm looking to leave. I'm looking to hurry up so I can go to the next house. So give me a reason to leave and I'll leave. You know, I'm not here to press buttons. I need to know that you're serious about this, because if you're not serious, if you don't want the help, then I can't want it more than you want it. Same thing for the phones. Does that make sense, Kali?
It really does, Thad.
It does.
Definitely.
Sorry, I'm trying to I'm managing the chat and all that other stuff while I'm doing the Zoom. So sorry. Yes, Thad, thank you.
No problem.
Thad, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you taking out the time to speak to us today. Now, the next person I want to highlight is, I call him Rich Dollars, y'all, because he makes all the money. But his name is Richard Moore. I'm super excited for Rich to call him not only a great friend, but an amazing teammate. And he also helps us out to a lot in this business. But him and his team, they're on their way. They're growing faster than anything that I know. He is FFL Unity. Previously was a loan officer making 40 grand a year on a W-2. That was in 2019. In 2020, being with FFL, he cash flowed over 170,000. Okay. So guys, what does that mean? You have an opportunity to be just like Will, just like Kali, just like that, and just like Rich, where you too can take yourself to the next level in this company, as long as you keep your attitude pure and your activity up. Okay. And so, Rich, I'm so excited for you and your team in the next 30 to 60 days. I have no doubt that you guys can't do, or even more, 150,000 of production, which is your goal. So I would love for you to talk about today a little bit of your story, also touch on mindset as well, lead flow, and also what a successful part-time or full-time schedule, what that looks like for the new people that are in here. I know you got a bunch of your teammates on here as well, so great job. Take it away, Rich Dollars. Thank you. Do we have Rich on? I think so. Yeah, I see him on here.
Oh, yeah, Corinne, hold on 1 second. Corinne, can you hear me?
Okay. Hey, yeah, Khalid, Shakira, can you mute her, please?
Sorry, yep, let me see.
Yeah. Guys, housekeeping rules. When you come on here, please make sure your phone is muted. Thank you. All right, Rich. We can't hear you, buddy.
There it is. Corinne, is that any better?
Yes. What's up? Can we see your face?
All right, excellent. I would throw my, yeah, I would. Wait, hold on. Is my connection good enough, or is that your connection? Hold on. Is that
Oh,
good?
yeah. Oh,
Good.
there you go. There's
Excellent.
that face.
Excellent.
Hey.
Yeah, Corinne. Hey.
What's up?
How you doing, Corinne?
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't wait to learn
I
from you.
appreciate you. I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for allowing me to come on here and speak briefly. We got a lot of new people coming on. Last month we hired around 50, and out of all the trainings in the entire company, I always stress this one over the other ones we have throughout the week. You guys do such a good job covering the fundamentals. I'm having good speakers come on, so I appreciate you guys very much. Allowing me to come on here and speak and talk about the topic that we discussed. So in short about the story, I mean, you kind of covered it. Been here for about 12 months. I came from a prior IMO where the culture, and the company was like extremely different to what we experience here. And so being a top producer over there, I still found myself, it was like well over 14 grand in credit card debt. So coming here and with that baggage from my previous company, I linked up with Mike, of course. And it did not take too long. It was about 90 days. It's about 90 days I ran through all that debt, and it's been no looking back since then. But and what really separates us from other IMOs in the same space is other companies, they want to talk about, Tom said this, so you said that back. They talk about phone training, and I talk about what to say in home, where, talk with Mike, he really got me to rethink that approach. It's more so about having an aggressive schedule and having an attitude and approach this business where it's like, I'm going to have so many people, it's irrelevant what one or two clients say to you, right? It's about having such an aggressive schedule that, you're not going to get every single sale, but I mean, it's going to be hard to fail with our high comp running 30 plus appointments a week. Whereas other companies, the comp is half and they advise us to run like 10 to 15 appointments a week. So tremendous change in that respect. So from a background standpoint, that's kind of where I came from. So from a mindset, guys, it's kind of like, I like to touch upon this. I came here from my previous space because financial services is the industry that produces the most wealth and the most millionaires in our country. So this is the space, financial services. On top of that, Family First Life is the highest paying brokerage in the entire space. So with having that information in the back of your mind, how do you want to spend your time here, right? That kind of moves me into your mindset and your lead flow, right? So from a mindset standpoint, like the first and foremost, it's about like being committed, right? Being committed. I always liken it to, I'm a big Kobe Bryant guy. I love listening to his old interviews, his old mindset, things like that. Kobe Bryant excelled in his space because there was not a plan B. There was not another option. Anybody who's exceptional in the top 1% in any field, I assure you, they did not think that if this did not work out, there was another route for them to take, right? So that's kind of my mindset from the get-go. It's excel here at a high level. There's no plan B. Having a plan B takes your attention away from plan A. And being in the space that creates the most wealth and with the company with the highest comp for what we do, I don't really understand why too many people have a plan B. But that's kind of the first step in this whole thing with schedule. It's you have to close yourself that, the aggressive schedule, the long hours, the weekends, it's worth it, because when you close yourself, you create this sense of momentum and people react to you in a different way. Clients respond to you differently. You hire people differently. and people want to collaborate with someone with that kind of approach and mindset. So that mindset is essential when it comes to structuring and scheduling your week up. So we're talking about lead flow. So when I first came over here with all my debt, the leads were $30 a piece, right? Now with what we have with the CRM and our opportunities on that, I remember having to max out my credit card every week just to get my lead flow. And that comes with the mindset. Always get more leads than you think you need for your dial day. I could have gotten away with spending half of what I used to spend, but I always wanted to posture myself from a position of strength. It's the same thing when you are in the field. If you have 10 appointments, your posture is going to be much different when you communicate than if you had 3 appointments. And it's the same exact idea with leads. If I have 100 leads on a dial session, you best believe my approach is substantially different than if I had 40 leads, right? I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Key and Peele skit, but it's, I'm oftentimes, people give me pushback, I hang up on them, I'm on to the next one. Because the opportunity we have here with having such an aggressive schedule, we're not dependent upon 1 or 2 people or missing out. If you lose on a rebuttal, it's not a big deal if you have 100 different leads. So from a mindset standpoint, you got to be committed. There can't be a plan B. You have to commit all the way, and you have to be great at this. I can assure everybody on this call, every manager from Corinne, Khalid, myself, Will, Andre, Thad, the list goes on. None of us would claim that we're overly intelligent or exceptional or great. It has nothing to do with that here. That's why I love financial services so much. Connections, resources, intelligence, none of that is relevant if you have an aggressive schedule and you have the desire to do well. That's really all that's required here from a mindset and a lead flow standpoint. And then when it comes to scheduling, I think scheduling is more important, back to what I said prior, than what you say on the phones and what you actually say in the homes. It's like, I'm gonna piggyback off that, quoting Grant, it's more so about getting in front of so many people. You don't even have to get better. You have so many people, you're not contingent or dependent upon what 1 or 2 people say back to you. So from a scheduling standpoint, full-time is 30 appointments a week. Now you can accomplish that 2 ways. You can do the traditional schedule, which is dial Monday for Tuesday, Wednesday, or and then you dial Thursday for Friday, Saturday. That's the traditional schedule. Or what I like to do with most new agents is do a dial a day, run a day. Mike set all of us up on that schedule from day one, and it made all the difference in the world cash flow wise. It makes the phone sessions a lot easier, especially if you're dialing older leads. Consult with your manager one-on-one about setting up a dial a day, run a day schedule. Highly recommend it. And then from part-time is an ambiguous title, in my opinion. It can mean 2 things. Part-time can mean I want to make $2,000 extra on the side and I'm happy. Or it could be part-time, I want to replace my income and come over here full-time, which is going to require 2 different approaches to your schedule. So the part-time with just a couple $1,000s extra a month, anywhere from 8 to 15 appointments will probably do the trick if you just want to get an extra couple thousand under your belt on a given month to month. And then I think about Will Crandall is the best example of what a good part-time looks like. But his goal was to replace his job and come over here full-time. And so I remember Will, when we first came over here, he would work 40 hours. He'd go in at night, and he would wake up 4 a.m., go to the gym, first appointment 7:30 a.m., up until his 3:30 shift, where he'd work all night for 10 hours. He'd be putting in 85 hours a week between his 2 jobs, and that was his part-time. But his part-time is different than everybody else's. He's on track now to hit a Hall of Fame this year. So what I love most about FFL, in short and closing, is you can really do anything that you want here. But I challenge everybody to really consider, this is where the most money is made in the country. And this is the company that sets us up with the highest compensation. So I would challenge you guys to think, a year, 2, 5 from now, if you take this casually, will you be looking back, thinking I should have played my cards differently? In a position like this, and at the pace in which we're all growing, we're only in the first, second inning of this thing. Back to what Khalid said about Mike, Mike did 180 grand 12 months ago. And we are only in the second inning of this thing. We're only just getting started. So plug in, remain consistent, set yourself up to win by buying more leads than you think you need. And be aggressive in your approach. Do not take this casually. We have a tremendous opportunity here to really get ahead. As long as we put our heads down, go to work, 12 to 24 months, you look up and everything is profoundly different. And that's everything I really got off the top of my head, Corinne. Got any questions?
Yeah, so for the conversation or information for the newest people in the group, because I know sometimes we get messages like, this is not working for me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Da 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 da. People like, what do you say to your new teammates that are struggling? What are some ways that they can have success? I know one of them is definitely calling in the in-home, which more people don't do enough of.
Right.
But what are some things that you help your newest members do to become if they're out there working and they're trying, but they're not getting the success that they're getting? What are some things that you help them with?
For sure. I think we need to hold each other to higher standards. I would say, Corinne, I understand that you're struggling a little bit. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you're working as hard as possible, and 1 being you're casual in your approach, where would you rank yourself and why? How would you grade yourself on your work ethic? Because what we end up doing is we enable people like, yeah, it's rough right now. Like it's going a little tough. Okay, I'm with you. How many phone calls did you make on Monday? Let's start there. How many leads did you buy? Okay, on the phones, you can lie to me or you can tell me the truth. It's up to you. Like, how many hours did you put in and how many dials did you make? Let's start right there, because it's not the system. You can't convince me that this does not work. We have way too many people winning at levels that don't even make any sense, in my opinion, for someone to convince me that they're not doing everything that they can. And it's okay, because that's how we all start. Because your definition and my definition of working is different. And it just takes time to hold each other to higher standards and be like, look, I understand it's not going well, but tell me the honest truth. What time did you go to sleep? What time did you get up? How many leads did you buy? How many dials did you make? Let's just start there. And then if those numbers are in a line, then we could work on things like tie downs on the phones. Then we could work on in-home. But in-home and phones is really not the issue. It's the psychology behind, how are you approaching your weeks? Are you getting in, making your phone calls at 11 o'clock? You're all groggy. You got old leads and you kind of dial around. You're not really motivated. Or are you waking up, leads are printed out, you're ready to go at 7:30 a.m. You have an idea in mind of how many appointments you're going to run that week, and you have a goal and you're working on it. So it's just tough for someone to convince me that it's not working for them because they're not working it. I can't help them change, but they have to be honest with me of what their activity looks like, and I can coach them through making those adjustments. But it's more so about we have to hold each other to higher standards. That's what I would say.
Definitely. And what I heard too is not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it, right?
Yeah, what happens to us all. We all have the same similar adversities, but the key is how we react and what we do about it. It's not what happens to each and every one of us. It's what we do about it. I assure you that, Mike File, leading issue paid right now, he's been no-showed and canceled and disrespected and turned away by people just like all of us. But he's just doing different things in those situations. So challenge yourself, approach the same things differently and hold yourself to a higher standard. That's what I would say.
Perfect. And I think we have time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Kali, did you have any questions? All right, let's see. Does anybody else? Go ahead.
Rich, great job. Thank you so much for pouring into us this morning. So when you said you came from another IMO. Let me ask you this: what changed? Because you weren't hiring before, right? You really weren't hiring at all. You guys hired 50 people in the last month, right?
Right.
So it's something different. What happened? What changed?
Correct. Well, I've been kind of planning this, and the timeline's been pushed back, what have you. But I mean, my goal was in early March to have an office. I had an admin lined up. I had this all lined up to begin. So I just moved cities. I moved up the street from Will. We just got an office that's opening on Monday. And so we have 2 staff right now. But it was all part of the plan. But I was, and don't wait, but I was waiting for me to get settled into the new city and for a couple of things to unfold. But it's been my intention for a long period of time to hire at a high level and get this thing moving. But it's only recently manifested itself, the past 45, 60 days, give or take.
Okay. But
Yeah.
I don't think you answered my question though. What's different? Because it had to be some kind of decision or something that you made to go from being a personal producer to now building a team, right?
Well, I think it's fear of loss. I guess if you really get down to it, it's fear of loss. I see the way you move. I mean, $320,000. I mean, I'm not phenomenal at math, but that's a pretty multi-million-dollar agency on a per annum basis. Like that's pretty big, and I see the way Mike's moving, and it's fear of loss. I mean, I know it's your mindset. It's like back to what I said about this industry and what we can take. It's like, what do you want from this thing? Do you want an extra $2,000, or do you want to clip $350,000 of income a year? You can do them both. It just depends on your approach. So I see the way you're moving, Corinne too. Andre, Brennan, Steve, I see all of them. And it really put the iron to me to make me want to move, so, and that's what's good about our culture is, and what I said to Corinne, it's holding ourselves to higher standards. That's basically it. So you guys are setting a very high bar, and I look to meet and exceed that bar, and we'll keep moving the bar on each other.
And thanks, Richard. I appreciate your honesty. And what's funny is, people, a lot of times people let their ego get in the way, right? So I see, based on GroupMe, how much you guys are hiring. And, I reached out to you like, what the hell are y'all saying? What are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Because you can learn anything from anybody. And the minute you think that you can't learn is the minute that when you stop learning is when you start dying. Right. And so I called you a week or so ago or text you, was like, we need to talk because I need to know what y'all are saying, what you're doing, because it's, you're putting a bunch of people in GroupMe and it's evident that you're hiring. And, if it's something that I can do better, I want to know about it as well. So, just learning from it. I just wanted to kind of make that comment, just be open to learning from other people, making connections so that you can call people and ask them questions if you need them. Rich, I call Rich and Rich is like, yeah, anytime, because there's been questions that Rich has had over, the past year or so. And I'm like, anytime. So, and even though I don't override Rich, Rich doesn't override me, and we're on separate legs of the business, we can still learn from each other and we can still help each other. And that is the beauty of Family First Life. There's no secrets here about what you're doing and how you're doing it, because we all know that there's enough money to be able to go around for everybody. There's enough people to go around, right? So because oh, that's a good question, LaKenya. 1 second. So we could probably finish with this, Rich. LaKenya wants to know, what are you saying when you're doing your hiring calls? What are you saying to hire all these people?
You guys are really gonna laugh at this, but you guys are gonna laugh at this, but it's extremely simple and to the point. My opening call is, I'm like, hey, Corinne, it's Rich from Family First Life touching base with you. I mean, I'm not a very formal, like by any stretch of the imagination. So I just want to know a little bit about your work history, a little about you, kind of what you've been doing up to this point, and then what you know about the position. If you don't know much, it's no problem. I can fill you in on it. And then I want to talk about myself and the value I can offer with working closely with me. And then we could discuss what the next steps moving forward looks like. And I'm the same way in the home. I sit down, that's my opening. They're looking to get insurance. Listen, Kali, I'm not really formal at all. I just want to know about you and what your thoughts were. And I could show you what I have to offer you and how we can work together. And it's the same thing. It's just, I want to find out what they've done, what their thoughts are. And then I want to plug them into our group. And then I want to show what kind of value that we can offer. Because if anybody told me about what was available here, when I was in school, for however many years ago, if I knew what was available here, I would have been doing things differently a long time ago, but I just didn't know. So it's just about sharing people the value that you can offer them. So that's basically it. Everything's 10 minutes. All my interviews are 10 minutes long. I don't go much longer than 10 minutes.
Cause you'll know if you'll know, they'll know if they're interested. You'll know if they're interested in the 10 minutes. It's not a long process. Yeah.
Correct.
And then Mike File wanted to know what's the text. And I know you sent out a text before you call the people. And what I can do, Rich, is I can post a text in group me because you sent it to me.
Yep.
So that everybody has it. So he sends out a text before he actually calls the hires, so kind of to warm them up to the conversation they're going to have. So I'll post that in group me so everybody has it if they need it, if they want to start hiring. And then I guess probably the last thing is, how much are you spending at this point? And this is a year later in the business, and this is a kind of an indication of how much money you're making, right? So do you have an idea of your business expenses? Because you say you have staff, you have lead costs, we have hiring leads. Like, what's an idea of your monthly business expenses?
It's a great question. Typically, do the math in my head. 6. Outside of like gas and all that, which kind of fluctuates, of course, probably like $8,500 a month. But you know, you're depositing 16 grand plus every month. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, another thing about this business is it's like you're not spending money, you're investing in yourself. Like it might seem like a lot of money, but as a matter of fact, hold on. That might seem like a lot of money, but I've actually had a lot of lean weeks lately because of all of the CRM discounts and all that going on. I mean, I typically like to spend 10 grand plus a month. Like I feel weird if I'm not spending that much on growing the top line, giving new agents leads, or just other things to get more activity moving to create more momentum, because perception is also a big thing. You spend more money, you have more perception and momentum, and things just begin to unfold. Like, you know, Will hit his promotion this month. It's a prime example of that.
Okay, thank you so much, Rich. Thank you for taking your time out again this morning. We know you're busy and pouring into us. So with all that being said, guys, it is 12 o'clock. We are here every Saturday from 11 to 12 on Zoom training. We have the best speakers in the company on this call. We will also, on Monday morning, live appointment setting. So if you're new, you want to learn how to set appointments, get on the live dial with us so we can help you get better. Thank you so much for everybody who spoke today. Will, Rich, Thaddeus, all the new hires, new people on the phone. Thank you so much and have a great week, guys.
Bye, guys.
You guys have a good
all.
one.
Great job.
Monday is live appointment setting. It's posted on Facebook and GroupMe.